Okay, so the YouTube algorithm sent me this video about Kamala Harris, and I've never seen this video, so I'm gonna react to this. And I've heard Tulsi Gabbard bring. I think this might be the case. She's brought up that Kamala had convicted black men put innocent black men in prison. And this might be the case. And for some reason, YouTube is just put this on my feed. I think because of she's the VP nominee now, or not the VP nominee, the presidential nominee. And I guess I don't know. It's relevant now, and so I'm gonna watch this. Maybe you heard about this case, maybe you haven't. I have not heard about this case, and so I'm gonna watch.
A million years, I would have thought that they were going to charge me for Sells murder. I never talked to no detective, no police officer, no DA, nobody.
Just arrested and then charged.
Arrested and charged. That's it.
Was the first time you saw Kamala Harris in person the day that the verdict was issued?
She showed up at the two most pivotal times in this first trial, and me being convicted and me being sentenced. She wanted to be present for a celebration of a conviction.
That's what it felt like, a celebration?
A celebration, that's what it felt like. The reactions I get when I tell...
Let me stop right here while it buffers. This is I'm not a big fan of prosecutors. And again, let me state one thing here that I'm independent. I'm not a Republican. I'm not Democrat. I'm not liberal, conservative. I'm independent. I'm a little bit liberal on some issues, conservative on others. So I'm all over the place. You know, I'm my own person. And one thing I've noticed about prosecutors, generally, especially my personal experience, is they don't really care about innocent or guilty. They care more about getting convictions. You know, they're just trying to convict somebody, whether they convict an innocent person or not. That's been my experience, my personal experience. And I've seen several cases like this of innocent people being prosecuted, and the prosecution, even after they get found not guilty, they're still fighting to overturn their convictions, to make sure like that no matter what, like, hey, once we say you're guilty, you're guilty. We don't care if new evidence clears you. You're still guilty under us, because we can't ever get it wrong under their eyes, you know. So that's one thing that kind of turns me away from Kamala. And we'll see with this case.
People, my story is, they say it's the worst nightmare. You know, it's the closest thing to dying.
Jamal, I want to read you a quote real quick. The job of a progressive prosecutor is to look out for those overlooked, to speak up for those whose voices aren't being heard, to see and address the causes of crime, not just their consequences, and to shine a light on the inequality and unfairness that lead to injustice. It is to recognize that not everyone needs punishment, that what many need, quite obviously, is help. Kamala Harris wrote that in her book, The Truth We Hold. Does that sound consistent with the brand of justice that you saw administered by offices that she was running?
It definitely sounds like Kamala Harris right now as a senator. But at the time of her being the head district attorney of San Francisco, that is almost polar opposite of what I felt and what our community felt in San Francisco.
So Jamal, where are we?
Right now we are in Sunnydale Projects, where I was born and raised at. Now, this isn't a place that you'll want to bring outsiders into, in a place that they don't want to go. This ain't a place that feels comfortable. It feels like you might get robbed, you might get shot.
Police were keeping files on you, your brothers, and other people who were living in Sunnydale from a very young age.
They already had me labeled, because I'm in this community, as a potential gang member. potential killer, potential drug dealer. You gotta wait.
I want to pause right here, and I want to say I brought this issue with police and government labeling people certain gang members. I made a video about the Venezuelan gang Tren de Agura, and how people just get assumed. The government just says, "Oh yeah, they're part of that gang," and it's like, how do you know that somebody's actually in a gang? You know, like I said, I've been around fake gangsters all over, like in high school. People pretending to be every kind of gang, Blood, Crib, you name it, and even they would make gang signs of all the different gangs, put it on their social media. So if a law enforcement sees it, you're like, oh yeah, that person's a Blood, that person's a Crib. I'm like, they're just pretending, like they're not. They've never been like in an official gang. They don't do official work. They don't push. They're not in an actual crew. It's but nowadays you can get labeled a gang. That's why I said I was leader of the KKK. It's if you just say that you're a gang member, you automatically are. So I said I'm a leader of the KKK and the Black Panthers, and pretty much every other group too. ISIS, Taliban, you name it. I'm in it. Just to prove like how dumb it is. All right, let me go back.
Up to the fact that things are set up against us.
There is a conspiracy.
Yes,
It's happened to you.
Exactly.
It's proven in court.
Absolutely. Places like this have been developed for predominantly African American people to not be able to succeed beyond it.
Yeah. What did you know about Kamala Harris? What did you know about San Francisco having a black DA?
Nobody in the hood ever worried or focused on the DA position in general, but people did focus on it just a tad bit, that it was black, and feeling like, okay, this black lady in office, Kamala Harris, she's gonna understand where we come from, and have more of a sympathetic way of prosecuting people that come from our communities who have been plagued with no opportunities.
She's a rich black, and when I say this is she doesn't give a damn about no black people from the hood. She don't give a damn. She's wealthy, and actually nowadays she doesn't care about anybody who's anybody. If you're rich, this is why I say this about all politicians. I don't give it. Well, not all. The majority. There's still a couple good ones. I'm not gonna say all, but the majority of these politicians, they care about the rich, the people in their circle, immediate circles. They don't really care about the average day citizens. It's all about them.
This is Hunter's point, where these different projects and communities used to really war with each other.
Jamal, in July 2007, what's going on in your life at that point?
I had recently just came off of I Love New York, and also that's when
he was in the TV show I Love New York. Oh man, I never saw that. I saw the I Love Flavor Flav way back in the day. That's how I'm showing my age.
my friend Sel Cuckoo got killed.
More than a year goes by, and no one's been arrested in the case. You haven't even been questioned.
Haven't even been questioned, no. The police was still, trying to get a conviction by all means necessary. When I was arrested for it, the community knew I didn't do it. And it was here we go again. See, this is why we don't trust, law enforcement, because it gets to a point where somebody who didn't do something goes to jail for it. I don't have no history of crime. It's not great. I have a history of being around in the community, But that doesn't mean that I'm a suspect. I'm like, oh man, I'll be out within 72 hours. They're going to figure this out. They're going to clear this up.
And then when you found out what the evidence was that they supposedly had you on, there wasn't much there. Can you describe what it was?
They had a woman saying that she seen me kill Sel. The second witness that they had really wasn't a witness at all. She said anything that the police officers wanted her to say, and they said that her recollection of the events was extremely credible. So that's what ultimately got the arrest warrant.
The District Attorney of San Francisco, Kamala Harris, appeared in the courtroom during your trial twice.
Yeah, the two times that Kamala Harris showed up to my trial was when I got convicted, and also when they laid down the sentencing.
When you saw her on the day that the verdict was handed down, did you take that as a bad sign?
It felt to me that she was well aware about my case, and she was there to set her presence, almost take pride in getting a conviction. When I put in my appeal, the people that's fighting against my appeal to keep the conviction is the Attorney General office. I learned it reading, their reply to my appeal, and you see Kamala Harris' name at the bottom.
See, this is what I'm saying. Once they convict you, doesn't matter what, they're always gonna fight against you. Every time you appeal, no matter what, even if it's like clear that you're innocent, they like convictions. Even if it's a wrongful conviction, they just gotta have their wins. Oh crap! Now it's gotta load. I'm gonna play it. After this video, I'm gonna show you a different video that a different case where pretty much similar. This isn't an isolated case. This happens all the time with the government.
It's starting to feel a little personal.
When you win the $13.1 million, it's a massive settlement. Did you feel like that was enough?
There's not an amount that could get back those 7 years.
You know what? I'll take 7 years in prison for $13 million. Other than any time you want.
That was 6.5 years that I spent in prison.
Even better.
And instead of me coming home feeling like I was a victim, I wanted to prove that I'm a survivor, and I will not let my story go unheard. I'm not necessarily saying I'm looking for an apology, but some acknowledgement from her that she could have messed up would be, of course, that'd be huge. You could have.
She ain't gonna apologize.
You could have missed some things.
They don't apologize.
It was a big miss. I had life in prison. I've met people in prison that was wrongfully convicted. I want my story to be out to provoke reform ultimately. Beyond that, I want to be able to be who I want to be. I'm an actor. I'm a musician. I'm a father. I'm more than this person that was framed. I'm more than this person that was wrongfully convicted.
Yeah, that's one thing I always hated about her being a prosecutor. I already distrust politicians. With this, kind of seals the deal. I'm definitely not voting Kamala. Actually, I always vote Libertarian, if I'm being honest. And I know it's pretty much between the two big parties, Republican or Democrat. And in all likelihood, Kamala is gonna win just because that's the way the establishment it's leaning. Just from everything I'm seeing, And I would prefer Trump right now, mainly because of his cryptocurrency. He's friendly on crypto. That's it. Because if you follow my channel, I trade crypto, so I'm looking for a government to kind of be more friendly with it. But that's about it with Trump. But Kamala, yeah, she definitely does not have my vote. I know she's probably going to be the president, and just know that she's not for the people. She could have easily. How hard is it to reach to this dude and say, you know what, we got it wrong. I cannot not undo what was done. This was wrong from start to finish, and I'm gonna strive to make sure stuff like this doesn't happen anymore. Something like that. Even if it's BS, you could say something like that. But obviously, they don't admit when they mess up. But what do you think? Does this change your mind on Kamala? Are you still gonna vote for her if you were gonna vote for her, or does this make you feel like you made the right decision by not voting for her? All right, that's it for this video.